Welcome to the Week 3 Fantasy Update. I'm going to be taking you through all this week's exciting matchups in the American Football Fantasy Football League. A lot of lopsided victories this week, a few close ones. Let's go down the list at the Week 3's action. We'll start out with Team Brett Lang, that's me, versus Sean's peerless team in the first matchup on my little Yahoo Fantasy app here. I'm going to go right down the list. Sean moves to 3-0 with a drubbing of my squad. The final score is 91-77, which is a 14-point margin, but it really wasn't even that close as I was down 40 going into the affair last night in New York. Sean, just a really solid squad. He's got two good backs, DeMarco Murray, Giovanni Bernard, and he moves to 3-0 in the league atop the standings, the only one undefeated. Matt Forte, for me, continues to be somewhere between a disaster and on the trading blocks here, potentially in the next 2 weeks if his production doesn't continue. So be on the lookout for that. Moving on to match number 2, one of my favorite matchups of the week for multiple reasons. Pitted King William, a self-dubbed title, obviously, against formerly known as Ginger Balls Anya, now known as Doormat, Luke List. That was changed midday on Sunday due to the drubbing that he was receiving at the time. It was a matchup that was I was looking forward to seeing how it would play out, and it really didn't live up to the billing. Unfortunately, Luke just was never in it from the start. Billy got 30 points off the bat on Thursday night from Julio, and never really looked back. Tough week for Luke Stafford, 4.6 points. His starting quarterback. Some interesting starters here down at the bottom. Bobby Rainey and Niles Paul. Clearly the waiver wire a little light to be starting those two. Tough week all in all for Doormat, and hopefully he can pick it up in week 3 as he moves to 1-2. King William moves to 2-1. A nice week for him. He's got the highest point total of anybody in the league, actually. A lot of that is indicative to the amount of time he's able to spend over there in London on fantasy during the week. Nonetheless, a very nice effort from him so far this year. Moving on, Scott Whalen versus Jamie Lovemark. Team touchdown for Watt versus Schmoopies. This one was better known as the Sandusky Special of the Week, as Scott wins 105-60. I did not misspeak. That was 60 points from Schmoopies. His output was the lowest in the league on week 3, which you always hate to see. At 60, just a tough week for him in general. He actually got 20 points from his quarterback Drew Brees, but just nobody else really produced, as Nick Foles and Marshawn killed it for Scott as he moves to 2-1. Some lower output from him in weeks 1 and 2, but he now moves to 2-1 in a nice triple-digit week for him. Moving on down the line to our 4th matchup, we have D's Nuts, Ryan Preston versus the Walking Dez, Michael Ballo. That was a 34-point win for Mike Ballo Jr. Just real consistent play down the line. He's got a good squad, real solid. He's highlighted by Antonio Brown, who watched him on Sunday night, the only game I saw all week. It looks like an absolute stud, along with Le'Veon Bell. D's Nuts, a nice Thursday night output from Matt Ryan, but just was never able to recapture the magic on Sunday. He moves to 1-2. Mike Ballo moves to 2-1. Moving on down the line, Preem Team Kate Fieldhouse goes to 2-1 with a 1-point victory over her future brother-in-law, Michael Sweeney, a.k.a. Power Bottom 2.0. This one was a pillow fight from the get-go, as neither squad cracked 66 points. Both were under that. Both teams would have lost to everyone else in the league except for Schmoopies. Yet Kate was able to squeeze out a nice 1-point win. She moves, like I said, to 2-1 over there in London, and she sits in second place in the standings. And last but absolutely not least, we have our sixth matchup. Back that pass up and black in the back. Tiva versus Chloe, two classy team names from the ladies. These two met as Tiva entered the matchup 0-2 on the year and was looking to get on the board. Looked like she might get it done, but Chloe came in at the end and backdoored her way to, no pun intended, to a win. She takes it by 5 points over Tiva. A nice week for Chloe, who I think has the highest point total of any week in week one. A little down last week, and now she seems to have kind of recaptured the magic there. In the triple digits, or close to triple digits. Tiva hopefully will get on the board next week. She sits at 0-3 in the bottom of the standings. She takes on Power Bottom 2.0 Michael Sweeney in a week 4 matchup. All right, I'm 6.5 minutes in, really quick. I would like to mention collusion within the league. Rumor has it through the grapevine that there's a potential of boyfriends helping girlfriends potentially manage their teams. I don't want to name any names, Luke List, but I think that it's $100 for the league in fantasy. It's not going to break anybody's bank. Let's try to keep fantasy pure. There's plenty of outlets online, ESPN, Yahoo, to be able to look at who to start, who not to start, etc., etc. I was told to bring this up in this video recap, so I just want to mention that within this forum. I also would like to nominate Mike Ballo Jr. for next week's video. He's not going to be excited about that nomination, but he needs to step up and either do it Tuesday morning and at the latest Wednesday morning for the Week 4 recap. In serious, I'm really enjoying the league and look forward to more exciting action down the road.